And now for our next news special report.
America, the Congressional Budget Office latest forecasts have sparked a crucial conversation about our nation's fiscal future. As we delve into the intricacies of the CBO's projections, it becomes clear that we face both challenges and opportunities in charting a path towards economic resilience and prosperity. The CBO's forecast, based on a range of assumptions, paint a picture of rising debt levels that demand our attention and our action. However, it's essential to approach these projections with a nuanced perspective, recognizing the complexities and uncertainties inherent in economic forecasting. Now, in this special report, we will provide a balanced analysis of the CBO's findings, examine the impact of key variables such as the Trump tax cuts, and explore the steps that we can take to secure a fiscally sustainable future. So join us as we navigate this crucial juncture in America's economic journey. The insights that we uncover, well, they may just surprise you. So as we grapple with the complexities of America's fiscal landscape, it is crucial to take proactive steps to secure your own financial future. Noble Gold Investments, they understand the challenges and uncertainties that we face, and they are here to help you build a resilient financial foundation. By diversifying your portfolio with precious metals, you can create a hedge against economic volatility and safeguard your wealth in the face of an evolving market condition. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and a track record of satisfied customers, thousands of them, Noble Gold Investments is a trusted partner in navigating the path to financial security. Visit nextnewsgold.com or call that number on the screen, 877-646-5347, to discover how you can fortify your financial position and embrace a more confident future, and get one of these beautiful quarter-ounce British gold standard coins. Now, the Congressional Budget Office latest projections have ignited a critical discussion about America's fiscal trajectory. The CBO warns of rising debt levels, with the federal government debt projected to reach 116% of GDP by 2034, a figure not seen since the financial challenges of World War II. To better understand the gravity of the situation, let's take a look at a recent news report that highlights the bleak economic output and the government's unsustainable debt burden. Watch.
The warning signs are dire. The U.S. needs to get spending and debt under control or pay the price.
Our debt is the size of the entire economy today. It's approaching a new record.
The national debt sits at just over $34.5 trillion. That's an increase of about $3 trillion in the past year and almost $10 trillion in the past 4 years. The Congressional Budget Office forecasting it could balloon to $54 trillion over the next decade. Top economists, including Wharton School of Business Vice Dean Dr. João Gomez, recently warned lawmakers the unsustainable debt could be catastrophic for the country.
Its consequences will be severe and leave lasting and probably irreversible scars on our economy and society.
Gomez's warnings included the potential for a recession, a spike in interest rates as the value of the dollar plummets, and further inflation pain affecting all corners of the country. Bloomberg Economics released the results of 1 million simulations on the debt outlook. 88% of them showed the U.S. on an unsustainable path. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell brought up the issue earlier this year.
The U.S. is on an unsustainable fiscal path. The U.S. federal government's on an unsustainable fiscal path, and that just means that the debt is growing faster than the economy.
The debt-to-GDP ratio could swell to levels not seen since World War II and beyond in the next 5 years. Inaction could trigger a financial crisis.
Let me put it this way. This year, we are projected to spend more on interest on the debt than everything we spend on defense or on Medicare. Think about that.
The same economists predicting a catastrophe also say it's not too late to avoid one. One plan has a $400 billion cut spread out over a few years, staving off a potential financial crisis. But that's asking an awful lot from a bitterly divided Congress that's routinely scrambling to fund the government.
As you just saw, the CBO's forecasts are underpinned by a range of assumptions about factors such as tax revenue, defense spending, and interest rates. So if we consider the alternative scenarios, such as the market's current expectations for higher interest rates, the debt-to-GDP ratio could rise to 123% by 2034. Additionally, if the Trump tax cuts, which have provided short-term economic stimulus, are largely preserved, the long-term debt burden becomes more significant. So to assess the sensitivity of the debt outlook, Bloomberg economists, They conducted 1 million simulations revealing that 88% of cases, the debt-to-GDP ratio follows an upward trajectory over the next decade. While these simulations, they underscore the challenges we face, they also highlight the importance of proactive fiscal management and policy adaptations. Now, the Biden administration has put forward a budget proposal that includes tax increases on corporations and high-income earners, aiming to enhance fiscal sustainability and manage debt servicing costs. However, the path to implementation requires bipartisan cooperation in a divided Congress. Republicans advocate for spending reductions to address the deficit, while the Democrats emphasize the role of interest rates and tax revenues in shaping debt sustainability. Now, while a fiscal crisis is not an immediate threat, last summer's events, including a credit rating downgrade and a spike in Treasury yields, serve as a reminder of the potential risks associated with market concerns over debt levels. As a nation, we must remain vigilant and proactive in addressing fiscal challenges before they escalate. Now, the CBO's assumptions, while grounded in legal requirements, they merit careful consideration. The assumption that the 2017 Trump tax cuts will expire as scheduled in 2025 may not fully account for the potential economic benefits and potential dynamics surrounding their extension. Balancing the short-term stimulus effects with long-term fiscal implications is a delicate task that requires ongoing evaluation and adjustment. Moreover, the CBO's projections for discretionary spending, including defense expenditures, may not fully capture the evolving geopolitical landscape and the need for sustained investment in national security. Former Treasury Secretary Lawrence Summers suggests that a more comprehensive assessment could result in higher spending projections, further underscoring the importance of fiscal discipline and strategic resource allocation. Now, market participants and economic experts offer diverse perspectives on the outlook for interest rates and debt sustainability. While some express concerns over long-term trajectory, others highlight the unique role of the U.S. dollar as the global reserve currency and the resilience of the American economy. Navigating these complex dynamics requires a thoughtful, data-driven approach that balances short-term priorities with long-term fiscal health. Now, prominent voices across the political and economic spectrum, they recognize the significance of the fiscal challenges we face. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, he's emphasized the need for a sustainable borrowing path, while former Treasury Secretary Robert Rubin has underscored the urgency of addressing deficit concerns. Business leaders like Ken Griffin and Larry Fink, they've also expressed their views on the importance of fiscal responsibility and the potential risks associated with rising debt levels. So achieving the fiscal sustainability, it will require bipartisan collaboration and willingness to make difficult trade-offs. The temporary suspension of the debt ceiling until January 1st of 2025 does provide a window of opportunity for policymakers to engage in substantive discussions and develop a comprehensive long-term fiscal strategy. And while the U.S. economy's unique strengths and the dollar's global prominence do provide some insulation against immediate crisis, we must not become complacent. The evolving global economic landscape, with the rise of emerging markets and shifting trade dynamics, underscores the need for proactive measures to maintain America's economic leadership and financial stability. As Herbert Stein wisely noted, unsustainable trends will eventually come to an end. By confronting our fiscal challenges head-on, we can chart a course towards a more resilient and prosperous future. This requires a balanced approach that considers the interplay of spending, revenue, and economic growth, while also addressing the long-term sustainability of key programs like Social Security and Medicare. If you got value from this report, please subscribe for more insightful analysis, and now stay tuned for my final thought. So the writing's on the wall. America, our nation, is hurtling towards an economic catastrophe of unprecedented proportions, and the time to act is now. The CBO's projections, as grim as they may be, are just the tip of the iceberg. When we factor in the market's expectations and likely persistence of Trump's tax cuts, the future looks even more bleak. We can't afford to stand idly by as our debt spirals out of control, threatening to crush our economy under its weight. It's time for our leaders to put aside partisan bickering and face this crisis head-on. We need bold action, tough decisions, and a collective commitment to steering our nation back from the brink of financial ruin. The consequences of inaction are too dire to contemplate. It's not just about economic stability that hangs in the balance, but our very way of life. We must act now before it's too late.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.